only respect the people that bury their trauma. Y'all only respect the people that turn into people pleasers. Y'all.
So yeah, I chose this part of the video. I watched this entire video, and um this video has thousands of likes and thousands of views and thousands of comments, with people in the comment section saying like they agree, and I read through a significant amount of them, and I just don't relate, right? I don't relate. I'm closely related to and have since cut off a family member who has been doing something to me my whole life that is remnant of what this girl is talking about in the video, right? So when I meet people like this, it triggers me. I actually have a few subscribers or followers on TikTok. Now I was talking about YouTube mostly in a lot of my videos lately because I'm cross posting over there. But on TikTok, there's a few people who follow me who I can't understand why they won't unfollow me, right? And I think that they won't unfollow me because they're so invested in like torturing me because I'm a positive person. And just like this girl said in the video, they the only example I can give of it is like when I talk about the trans people and I say that they feel like women, but how can you feel like something that you've never been? I think what you mean to say is that you want to live the life and you know, show up as a woman. Like you want to be woman presenting, but you don't know what it feels like to be a woman. Because I think if you ask a woman, what is it like to be a woman? Every woman's answer would be different because we are only just us. And yes, we are women and they might match up. But when we think to answer the question, we're not going to think of it from a standpoint of, looking outside ourselves. We're just going to say, well, my life has been like this. My life, Kiana, my life has been like this. And then when you hear all the stories, you can put them together and say, yep, this is a lot of other women said the same thing, right? But you don't know what it is to be a woman. Women wouldn't even know to answer the question from a woman's perspective. They would just answer it from their perspective, if that makes sense. So for like people who are in a headspace like this, they don't know what it feels like to be able to get through trauma. And because they don't know what it feels like to get through trauma, they project on people who do know what it feels like to get through trauma. And they say things like, you're a people pleaser and you're lying. And, they get mad at you. And just like this girl said in the video, they become abusive. And she's saying in the video, like, nobody has respect for those people who become abusive, who don't show up as happy, and who are just walking around like bah humbug, and they're drowning in their pain, right? And to me, that doesn't sound realistic because we're all just human. And as a human being, in order to act like coexist with other human beings, you have to give a little leeway because we're humans. It would be disingenuous for me to say that these people, like for them to say that they would accept a murderer who murdered one of their family members because that murderer is drowning in his pain and he just wants to murder, and why are we not accepting him? I just think, stop. Like, nobody's gonna accept that. And or I can use another example, something a little less dramatic. A narcissist didn't start off as a narcissist. Narcissists go through some sort of trauma or a certain upbringing when they're younger to become a narcissist. But one thing we know about narcissists, they wreak havoc. We use the word so much. Narcissists are not fun to be around, right? Although we know that their life matters, this is what I talk about when I say all lives matter. Narcissists' lives do matter. Does that mean that I have to be in relation with a narcissist because that narcissist's life matters? No, I don't have to do that. And I wouldn't recommend anybody to do that, right? So the next question you would ask is, who does that narcissist talk to, right? Of course, I think that narcissists should talk to a specialist, especially if they're just like wreaking havoc on people's lives. They need to talk to somebody who can help them heal from that, right? But if she's saying that people cannot heal, some people don't get through their trauma and they're gonna stay there and they're gonna hurt people and they just want people to respect them and accept them. I just don't know how that will work. And I genuinely don't know how that will work because I don't think her talking in the video would allow anybody to just harm her. They go through sexual abuse as a child and they get older and then they decide to sexually abuse you because they become their abuser and you're just supposed to take it. You're just like, I just think the wording is needs to be changed. And I think that what she's saying is she wished that people acknowledged the amount of pain that they were in. And she wishes people that they would acknowledge and look her in the eye and validate her and say I understand and continue to show up for her in an empathetic way. And I think that that's actually possible, but I don't think it can come from one person. I think it has to come from an organization where people have to take turns dealing with you because that's not easy to deal with. I don't care which somebody who's in that headspace who wants to convince anybody that that's easy to do because it's not. If you've ever dealt with somebody like what she's talking about, they have the fucking will of a fucking bull, and they are, you can tell them options, you can tell them, which I don't do anymore. I've learned, don't give them any options, don't say anything to them, don't try to, so the most I can do for you, which I don't think is better, is say I'm sorry that happened to you, and then I'm going to exit stage left because I learned my lesson. There's nothing I can say. And if you're advocating for somebody to be able to sit in their trauma and still coexist with healthy people, I just don't think that that's realistic. We're just human. Everyone's out here surviving. Everyone's out here trying to live their life. Everybody's trying to raise their children. Everybody's trying to pay their bills. And I think people like this are stuck in a mentality where they think they're the only ones or they're suffering the worst, or and they're going to tell you, listen, I've talked to these people, they're going to tell you, I don't think I'm the only one suffering. I know I'm not the only one suffering. So why do you want to pull me down with you? I don't think I don't think people in this headspace are consciously trying to pull you down. But I do think that because they are in this headspace, they are naturally selfish and they don't care if they pull you down. Misery just loves company. Or if you're talking about, the Eckhart Tolle book that I was telling y'all about with the pain bodies, their pain body just wants to connect to your pain body and keep you, focusing on that pain. I've seen people do it where they like look in each other's eyes and they're like, me too. Me too. I've had that done to me too. And it's an exchange that I'm so intrigued by because I'm like, I can't relate. Like the trans people. I want to understand. I don't want to live that life. It doesn't seem pleasant. And from the way that this person talked about, it doesn't seem pleasant. But I would love to understand what it is that they feel so I can know what it is that they want people to do. But I just don't think that it's realistic to ask people to drown with you. I think that that's selfish, and I think it's also very mean to tell people that they are faking and they are people pleasing and then expect them to show up for you and give you money and give you somewhere to live while you walking around their house like, I don't give a fuck, like, stop looking at me. I get it. But if literally this person is declaring in the video, we're never going to get through it. This is why I ain't going to say that. But I don't give advice no more because I don't understand this. And I'm also not going to let people abuse me, even though I have empathy for you. I'm not going to let you abuse me into drowning with you.